Hey guys, this is Avon. Here's a question on askavon.com. A user asked regarding a function, creating a function that would produce a pattern such as these right here. So this function would take in an argument. So for if the argument is 2, so the argument is the type is a number, it would produce a pattern like this one. If the argument is 5, the function should produce a pattern such as this one, and so on. So as you can tell, there's complete symmetry going on in this pattern. There is a horizontal symmetry and a vertical symmetry. This is the center row. At the very center, there's always a 1 right here. And then there's symmetry to the right of it, to the left of it, up, and down, which is actually kind of cool. So I thought about it for a while. I'm not gonna lie, it was not easy to solve. I wasn't even sure if I could do it, and I know there's probably many different ways to solve it. So I just picked one way to solve it and just went for it. So here it is. Let me go over the solution. All right, so the function, I called the function magic pattern, takes in one argument, and has the following code. The first thing I did is set the dimension. So as you have noticed, the dimension is both the same. The width and the height, they're both the same value. They both have the same dimension, which is just n times 2 minus 1, right? So that's pretty straightforward. This initializes a 2D array because I decided to use a 2D array to solve this. There's other ways I'm sure to solve it, maybe using strings or whatnot, but I decided to use 2D array. Setting up the array, initializing the array in this way, I just got that from Stack Overflow. It was the shortest way I could think of or find to initialize a 2D array. Here's a helper variable called current, or the shorter version of that, curr, cur, and it's initially set to n, whatever the argument is to the function. So the first thing I did was just initialize everything to the center row, meaning this row right here. In this case, if the argument is 7, I would make every row look like the center row. So by default, every row would look like this after running these lines of code. So that I decided to do it that way. Again, I'm sure there's many ways to do this, and I'm sure there's shorter ways to do it, but this is just one way to do it, and that's the way I decided to do it. So once I set everything to the center row, so the numbers decreasing and then increasing again in every row, this is where the actual change happens, actual replacing the values depending on the row. And I'm not going to go into details on what exactly each line does, because frankly speaking, I think it would break my brain. It took me, I had to think very hard about this, and it was not easy to come up with this. But I just, basically the thinking is that I've noticed that the first row, so if the index is 0 for the row, then all the values are n. If the second row, if the index, so the index of the second row is 1, because you go from 0 to 1, then starting from 1 and then back 1 from the end, I just replace everything with n minus 1. And then so on. Then I do the same thing for 5s, and then I do the same thing for 4s, and then do the same thing for 3s, and so on, right? And I'm only replacing. Remember that initially I set everything to this, the center row. So if I just focus on replacing the inner values with the repeating number, the new repeating number, then I don't have to worry about the outside of it. That was my thinking. Well, I did that. That was great, and it worked, but I forgot about the other half. Now at the bottom, it had to be in reverse. So when I first did this, it didn't produce the correct results. It would only produce the correct results up to here, but then this part would be left alone and wasn't untouched. So I had to create this row val helper variable to let me just make note of it, to kind of fix that, I guess. And I'm like I said, it's going to be kind of hard to explain. You just what exactly is happening here. But I just figured out a way to produce the same row. Like for example, this row right here is the same as this row. Then this row is the same as this row. So I have to find a connection between the index of this row and the index of this row, if that makes sense. Like what is a way to calculate, to figure out what is the common, what is a formula I can use to find the commonality of these two indexes. And then at the end, I just, for each row, I just converted it to a string using join, and at the end returned the pattern and separated by new line, and that's it. So I hope this helps. I hope whoever asked the question, it helps them understand the pattern and how to go about solving it a little bit better. All right, guys, take care. Bye.